Hi, my name's Zach, the host of Urban Agoge, and for Series 2, which has been a long time coming, I wanted to try and produce some quality content, have some interesting stuff for you guys and peoples. Whoa, wandering through the woods and doing my usual thing, but actually showing you some stuff. So today's episode 1 has got some bits about my adventure bag that I've been carrying for the past year while I've been wandering out in the woods as often as possible. And we've also got a piece of footage from Rembimon, who went out into the woods. That's very complicated. With his shortwave radio, and we'll be going on about radios a lot more this season, and hopefully filling you in on some of the things about using a shortwave radio. So that'll be great. So without further ado, let's take a look at my adventure bag. So this is my adventure bag, and I've had to think about it and put all the things I think I'm going to need while I'm filming these episodes outside. So it's like my outside broadcast bag, and I'm just going to go through everything that I'm carrying with me at present, and if you come up with some ideas for stuff I should have, then do let me know. So yeah, without further ado, we're going to get into it, and I'm just going to show you all the bits that are in there. So here we go. Right, so we're going to start with the two smaller compartments. This is a 4-compartment bag, and yeah, so we'll start with the smallest compartment, and all I've got in there is a Baofeng UV5R TP, so that goes up to 8 watts. It's pretty cool, does the job. It's a handy little FM radio and a 2 metre 70 centimetre walkie-talkie. They don't cost a lot, they're about 20 quid, and if you're going to buy one, make sure to get 2, because one walkie-talkie on its own isn't all that useful unless you've got a really good emergency plan. So, you know, I use this as my my FM radio while I'm out here, and I occasionally have a listen to the ISS, which when it's overhead broadcasts on a certain frequency. And I think that's there you go. In fact, this one's been programmed, so when I turn it on, as it goes, ranges, and that's ISS-DN on 145.800 megahertz. And if the ISS is over the head of you, you can actually hear it. I realise that I haven't got the antenna on, but you only hurt the radio if you try and transmit without an antenna on. So there you go. That's a useful safety tip. And this one has what's called a ground plane, which is the length of wire attached to the same circuit that the antenna's on. In this case, the belt clip. And it's a special measurement thing. Maybe we'll talk about how to make one of those at some point, but that's a cheap upgrade for the broadcast ability of your radio, and it's just got the very terrible rubber duck antenna that comes with it. I do have other antennas, and I will at some point have a Slim Jim, but that hasn't come to pass yet. Maybe that'll be it will be another episode. So that's the only thing that's in the top compartment. Then going into the next compartment down, I have a Maxpedition style gear organizer, and that's got a little mini first aid kit, recharging cable for the camera, set of lock picks and some threaded needles in the gaffer tape there, small flashlight, pens, pencils, and because I'm getting old, this is in fact a spare set of glasses, where you can actually get a teeny tiny set of glasses. And my first aid kit's got steri strips and all sorts of things. It's a mini boo-boo kit. And the other thing I have, apart from the notepad, it's always good to have somewhere to write down your ideas, is a big old sheet of tin foil. It's about 2 meters of tin foil folded into a square. And you can do all sorts of things with that. You make cooking pans, cups, everything. So yeah, so that's a useful little mini organizer. It could probably do with a good pair of scissors in there. We'll figure it out at some point. But yeah, some means of writing down your ideas and a few bits, and a little bit of a first aid kit. I plan to expand on the first aid kit. So yeah, so that's just the two main compartments. Oh, the only thing in there, that's where my other pair of glasses went. So this is a pair of folding glasses. If you do need eyeglasses, even if it's just for reading small print, your go bag or your venture bag should have something like it in there. So that's that. So moving on to the second compartment, which is a lot larger, I have a padded drawstring bag, and that contains my, I can get it out, my Canon EOS M with a 50mm lens and a lens adapter. There's a battery already in it, and a 64 gig SD card. And the other thing that's in this pouch is a pair of spare batteries in a 3D printed case. That's the first pouch in there. So then I have usually something to drink, some water or some squash. Always take out something to drink with you. It's very easy to dehydrate. And because I'm a bit of a preparedness nut, this is the Grail water filter, one of the best water filters money can buy. See if you can get one cheap. I got this for about 23 quid, including the filter. So that means I can go down to the river, refill this, and know that I'm not ingesting anything nasty. So I can actually get water wherever there's a water source, including, regardless if there's heavy metals or biological output from farms, you know, hormones and stuff, and all the usual nasties that a water filter takes care of, all the bugs and amoebas that are in the water. So it's a very handy thing to have. About 750ml a pop, same as the water bottle, which means that I could carry 1.5 litres if I needed to, just out of my day wandering bag. And with the Grail filter, you know, as soon as I hit a source of water, which isn't too difficult in the United Kingdom, I can just refill it from whatever. You can refill it from a puddle, and it will filter everything nasty out of it. So yeah, hydration, really important. I've got a Barco Laplander saw for if I find any really nice bits of wood or I want to process firewood while I'm out here. Very good saw, pretty cheap for bushcrafting equipment, but you don't necessarily need that. Any form of saw will probably do you more than good enough to sort out any fire making need that you might have. So put that to one side. I've got a tarp, just a cheap tarp with a couple of very long bungee cords on it, also very handy. I've got my camera spike, so it's a tent peg, a plastic tent peg with a hole drilled in it, and a little quarter 20 double-ended nut there just below that, and then a GoPro mount on there which can be unscrewed, and it's essentially a micro tripod that will help me shoot in more interesting footage. They're quite good. There's a bit of a close-up of it, and I'll just take off the so when you take off the nut, the GoPro thing, you can see the quarter 20 nut there just glued into the top of that tent peg, and you've got a tent peg. You know, not beyond the bounds of anybody's ability to make a simple tent peg from a stout stick. But yeah, this one was plastic, so it was easy to mount the quarter 20 in. So that's a normal tripod bush mount. So most cameras will mount to it, or they'll have an accessory that allows you to mount to it. Even even my phone, I could even mount my phone into here, and we'll get into other bits and pieces that are in the bag, and you'll see that I could even mount my phone on this should I need to, and I want a third camera, because I've got the action camera that I'm shooting this with, and the EOS M that's over there, and also my phone, so they can all be mounted on this, which is handy. I've also got a horrifically cheap tripod. So yeah, this was a cheap and nasty tripod. It just about does the job, and I've got it in my bag because it doesn't weigh very much, and it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So this is a variable height tripod, goes up to about 1 meter, so it's kind of handy. Yeah. So moving on, I think that's the bottom of that. So that's 3/4 of the pouches. There's really not a lot left. And this is the pouch that the camera that I'm using sits in. Just a little simple bag, just keeps all the bits and the connectors into it, because it's quite a complicated camera, and I shall be showing you that shortly. I've also got a monopod, which is very handy. This does weigh a little bit, but it does work, and it allows you to extend your reach with a camera. You know, always worth having extra camera stabilization if you can get it. So yeah, that'll allow me to get different angles and shots. And yeah, that's it. I've got a Possibles bag, as a bushcrafter might call it, which is basically a load of paracord, some paracord tensioners, a little multi-tool and a lighter. So it's a good, we're talking about also this adventure bag is a good amount of stuff that it could also be considered a survival kit. And yeah, there's a rogue bit in there. I've got a couple of different types of bag. I've got a standard bin liner, an ordinary carrier bag, and a big Ziploc bag, which is quite cool. Always worth having bags. You can turn the bin liner into an emergency poncho or a shelter, a little bit of a shelter anyway, enough to keep the rain off a little bit, even if you didn't have the tarp, or you could sleep on it or in it, or at least keep part of you in it. And the carrier bag, you never know when you're going to need one of those. It doesn't weigh anything, so it's worth having one in here. And the last pouch, it's a multi-purpose pouch. It's worth collecting these because it makes the organisation of your bag a lot easier. So in here is mostly other camera bits. So the only thing I've got in the loose open top pouch is a Petzl headlamp, one of the little mini ones. So that's that, and essentially it's quite tightly packed. This is mostly camera accessories. So here's the top end of a selfie stick, which will essentially fit onto the tripod, the tripod, and you can attach it to the monopod and the spike that'll actually glue in. So I've got mountings for all of my cameras. All of my cameras will fit on this, and this will help me, sort out the other ones. It's a good idea to have camera Lego. Got a micro USB cable. A GoPro waterproof case, obviously, for the camera that I'm shooting this with. Bunch of batteries and the battery charger. And I think the last thing in here is a really nice cheap Boya shotgun mic I bought recently that will attach to, again, I think all the cameras, so that's kind of handy. And I think, and there's the mounting screw for the GoPro. And a bunch of batteries. I've got 4 spare batteries. I've got a secondary sort of like jig mount for the audio recorder that I use. I've got the charger for said batteries that will run off micro USB, and a spare mounting point for the Canon EOS M. This is basically a universal camera screw. Again, that's a 1/4 20. Let's see that. That's a 1/4 20 screw. So that again will mount to nearly everything, including the selfie stick header. If there was one screw thread that you need to get familiar with if you're going to do filmmaking or photography, it's definitely the 1/4 20. And that's pretty much everything I have in the bag. And there's the big pile of stuff. So that all fits in that bag. It doesn't weigh too much. And yeah, and now I'll show you the camera rig that I use. So this is the video camera rig I normally film on. I'm shooting this on my phone, and it's mounted on the camera spike with the selfie stick attachment, so I can lock it into place. So we'll start with the camera itself. So that is the Firefly. So I can turn it. That's the Firefly 8 SE, which I've been using for the last year. And it's a 4K camera, though I generally film in 1080p. It's got anti-shake, defishing, all sorts of modes for slow motion and, time-lapse and stuff, all built in, which is really handy. And below that is the dead mouse cover for the Purple Panda microphone, which is a lavalier microphone, which means I can clip it anywhere, and that's what I generally use to record. This is currently being recorded off my phone, and I think if it doesn't go well, I shall re-record it at home, just doing a voiceover. Below that, here is the Hohem Mini gimbal, which holds action cameras, and it's got a number of cool features. It's a powered gimbal, so that eases out your shots and makes everything look nice. But it's also got various things like there's a couple of USB connectors that you can draw power from on it, so you can use the internal battery to charge up other things like your phone or the camera itself or anything else. Mounted on the side, another feature of the Hohem is it's got two camera tripod bushes, so I've put in another double quarter 20 to put yet another selfie stick mount on because they're real cheap, and that holds the sound recorder, the Evistea L20 or L120, and that's really nice. It does full recording. We turn it on. If I was to press record, it means you can check your voice levels, you see there. Let's get a good picture of that. So you see there, you can see the voice levels reacting from the Purple Panda mic and making sure that that sound's actually coming out. And these two cables, this is the mic in for the Purple Panda at the top, and this next one down is the audio takeoff that actually plugs into the camera. So I get two audio recordings whenever I'm recording. So if something goes wrong with the audio on the camera, I've got a secondary audio recording there, which is a faff to connect up. The thing about the Firefly is external mics can be put in, but there is something that happens when you plug in a standard mic directly into the camera that isn't the microphone that came with it, that causes interference and gives you terrible audio quality. So that's why it's this way. It's a good microphone into the sound recorder and then into the camera, which is mounted on the gimbal. And the gimbal also has a thread at the bottom, so you can mount it onto a tripod if you want. And the camera and both the camera and the gimbal can be controlled remotely by a mobile phone, so that gives you even more opportunities. So as in this case, when I was having some problems with the EOS M, and I don't know what those problems are, it's probably something related to the memory card that's in there. I've got 3 cameras and I can overcome obstacles and stuff. The only downside of a mobile phone camera is if you move it, you can see that that frame wobble, and it just looks awful. So that's why if you're going to film with a mobile phone, you kind of need to lock it into place, and that's one of the other reasons why I put together the little camera spike that I showed you earlier, and that's all mounted into there. So that's an overview of the camera. I hope you've enjoyed the overview of the adventure bag, and this is basically my complete mobile filming unit. So yeah, we'll go into that and do bits and bobs like that. And now here's Rembimon with his adventure in the woods with his shortwave radio. Run VT.
So yeah, I'm out for a walk, bit of a walk. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Yeah, a bit of a walk, innit? But yeah, this is a big old area of forest right behind me. Well, woodland, as you can see. Big old bit of woodland around here. Big old empty place. I've got my pack on, which is currently got like water and a big like 18 amp hour battery, lead acid battery, my radio kit. I'm gonna try and get up there to yeah, you know, try and get up that part there. I don't know if you could see it. There's like a big old thing there with some just way into the wood, innit? I'm gonna go up there, see if I can find somewhere to set up an antenna, see if I can hear anything, make some contacts. Let's see if I can even get to Hat Green. But yeah, see you next time when I'm actually got everything set up. So I haven't found anywhere really to set up my radio yet to do stuff, but check this place out. Woods behind-ish my house. Oh, it's not bad actually. I went up that way and there's a big old fence, so that's before you get to the golf course, so there's like private land up there. Ugh. But yeah, I'm probably just going to head back to that clearing actually, with the burnt out cars, and set my radio up on there. Probably the easiest place, considering I haven't really found anywhere here till I do out. But yeah, I'll see you in a few. I'm back here with the car. Got the radio with the Wonder Wand widebander, bit of a metal whip, and I'm at least picking stuff up. Bit of the old PSK 31 going on there. But yeah, if I get anything else, I'll let you know.
Thanks for your patience, because I have some stuff in that we have standard not far away. So I copy 2 Echo 0, 2 Echo 0, Sugar, Quebec Yankee, copy 5, 9, wind report is 5 and 5 on my inverted radar for Jessa.
Alright, so yeah. Didn't make any contacts. Really didn't get much of anything. I tried to roll out the big antenna that I have that's like from British Army. It's like the old Klansman antenna I've got lying around, and I've got a thing to hook it up to my ICOM. But it's like 30 metres long. I thought, oh, that's fine, I'll just, each leg's 30 metres. I thought, I'll just chuck it up a tree. And I didn't have any way of chucking it up a tree. I didn't have a, well, I mean, there's paracord on the end of the thing, but I couldn't tie anything heavy enough onto the end of the paracord to be able to throw it over a tree limb, one that was high enough anyway. So next time, what I really need to do is get like a plumb bob. Get a couple of plumb bobs, tie them onto the end of the paracord, and they should be easy enough to throw up. I've at least got like the use of the old throw and toss, as it were. I don't know what the proper term is, but where you put a weight on it, spin it around, and then throw it. Yeah, I managed to get hold of that. Oh my gosh, but yeah. This has shown that I'm not that fit, because it's not that far from where I live. This place. I'm shagged already. I'm knackered. That's why I'm sat down on this little grassy hill there. Look, there's my kit, my flat cap. Sat down here in this park, in my nearby park, to just get a few, get my breath back, because my feet are killing me. And I'm running out of time keeping everything together with breathing. But I think this is to be expected. I've stopped smoking like about 6 months ago, and a few weeks ago I took up vaping again because I was getting all like the shakes and everything from the lack of nicotine, or maybe it was like the lack of the sensation of smoking. I think that's what it was, because I went back to like nicotine-free vape and that was all right, but my lungs don't like anything now. So that's it, how it is, isn't it? But yeah, I'm gonna go the Kojak route. I like pops. I think that's all. I think it's just I need something to take away that like smoking sensation without actually smoking anything. Anyway, yeah, I'm sorry I keep looking at the screen. I'm on my phone with a front-facing camera, and it's sometimes easier to like just look at it by accident. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later.
Well, that was pretty cool. Thank you very much to Rembimon for filling us in about the niceties of shortwave radio. Hope you enjoyed that. The next episode is going to be some more bushcraft goodness. I'm going to start with that Agel. We're going to do a few bits, and I hope you'll be surprised. And we've got a contribution from Harlequin as well. So if you want to add anything to the things that we're showing on Urban Agoge, just hit me up. You can get in touch with me at v4v@earthling.net. Just drop me a line. There'll be a link in the description down below. And we'll try and continue on as we've started with various bits and bobs. Thanks very much. Thanks for watching. Do take care.